This is the first of 3 brief Excel tutorials that will help you get started using Excel 2007 for Windows. In this tutorial, we will learn how to use built-in Excel formulas, also called functions, write our own formulas, and how to drag the formulas. Here is the data that I'm using for my standard curve. I'm using 4 standards that I made and measured 3 times. Make sure when you enter the data, you are entering it in orderly columns. This will make applying formulas and later graphing the results easier. My first step is to calculate the means of the replicate standards. Tell Excel you are entering a formula by typing an equal sign. If you know the name of the Excel formula you want, just start typing it. In Excel, mean is average. As I start typing average, a list of formulas appear. When you see the one that you want, you can stop typing and select it from the list. If you don't know the name of the formula that you want to use, you can go to the Formula ribbon and click on the Insert Function button and look for it in one of the subsets. Or you can do what I do and simply Google it. Excel will give you a little tip as to what info you need to give the formula. In this case, we can see it is asking for some numbers. We could type in the actual numbers, but that would defeat the purpose of having them on the sheet already. Instead, select the range of cells that hold the numbers you are averaging, then hit Return. Excel will now show the result of the calculation in the cell where you typed the formula. However, you can still see the formula in the formula bar. If Excel doesn't have a formula that matches what you need to do, you can enter it yourself. For example, Excel does not have a formula to calculate standard error of the mean the way we do it in plant physiology. We can use Excel's standard deviation function and then divide by the square root of our sample size. For this example, I am going to type in the sample size. There is a way to make Excel count the sample size for you, but I will leave this for you to investigate. Finally, we have 3 more standards that we want to apply the exact same formulas to. Rather than retyping the formulas, we will drag them. Select the cell that contains the formula and then mouse over the small box in the bottom right-hand corner of the cell until your cursor turns into a plus sign. Click and hold on the little box and drag. Excel will assume that you want the exact same formula applied to each row. This is called relative cell referencing. You can repeat this drag for the next column of calculations, or you could have selected both cells at the start and dragged them at the same time, like so. One more tip on cell referencing. Sometimes you will not want to change the cell, row, or the column being referenced as you drag a formula. This is called absolute cell referencing. In this example, I have a set of grades that I wish to calculate the percentages for. Instead of typing the formula, where I divide each grade by 30, I make an absolute reference to the cell that holds the total value of the grade. Enter the formula normally and then go back and place the $sign in front of the row number reference, in this case, row 3. Now, when I drag, every cell will be divided by the number in the cell I've made an absolute reference to. If I didn't make the absolute reference, Excel would keep moving down the reference to the next row when I drag the formula. The advantage of referencing a cell rather than just typing the value in your formula is that you can easily update the calculation if you need to change the value that was absolutely referenced. For example, if I decide later that the exam was only out of 29, I only have to change the number in the reference cell and all the grades are updated. That's it for part 1. To see how to make the actual standard curve, please watch the next video.